This weekend, WWE's got a big pay-per-view event, PLE, if you will, on Sunday afternoon. They got a pre-show on Saturday, if you will, when it comes to their affiliation with AAA, and a big AAA show that I think you shouldn't miss. It's free on YouTube. Only could imagine as a child to have as much wrestling like an event like that just absolutely free on a platform at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday perfectly. That's a perfect time for me because that is like the day's
Yeah.
over, the chores are done, whatever you've done, you can just wrap it up and you could just sit there. There's not like a lot of counter programming. I was always kind of a big fan of like UFC at those times. It's difficult to go out to eat, right? Because you're not going to want to have a meal. And I a lot of times go to like Buffalo Wild Wings to watch a UFC event. So that's a little bit difficult there. Obviously, going to a bar, it's very easy. But I kind of just like that kind of like settle down. You have the TV to yourself kind of time for an event,
God,
especially.
you crack me up. You and I are so opposite with that because of this kind of I think lifestyle. You know what I mean? We
Mhm.
we kind of live a little differently. We kind of do different things on the weekends. You know what I mean? And for me, I don't like the 10 p.m. start on a Saturday personally because let's be honest, I'm probably going to be sleeping by then because that's just the way my life is with the way my schedule is with my kids and all that. But I will watch it on YouTube Sunday morning. I will catch it and then depending on how things time out, I might just roll right into the Clash in Italy. So it's going to be a pretty
Well, and
wrestling.
that's why Clash in Italy comes at a horrible time for me. Not a horrible time, but it's just right in the middle of the afternoon, right? It's just coming around to be summer here in the Northeast, right? If the weather's nice, it's tough to be stuck inside on a Sunday afternoon,
You
right?
know
Watching
what?
TV from like 2 to 5. Those are
What
like
I
the
might be
prime
doing
hours.
is depending on the weather, because you know how it is here in
Uh-huh.
upstate central New York, weather could change at any time. I might actually put it out on my deck and watch it while the weather's nice. Because middle of the day, maybe I'll make some food and
Mhm.
hang out on the deck and watch a little wrestling and enjoy it. Because I like the start time. The start time is great because by the time the show's done, knowing how WWE is doing it, I'm either doing dinner or if it does run late for some reason, then it's I have enough time to get myself situated for the rest of the night to get ready for Monday's work week.
See, I'm understanding they're in Italy, so there's really not much you can do when it comes to the time here. But
Yeah.
like a perfect time for, and listen, they'll never do this because they haven't done it yet, right? They're either on Saturdays early. Perfect time for me for a WWE event would be like 6 o'clock on a Sunday. And again, not because it's going to go 6, 7 hours long, but like 6 to 9. Obviously, this is not necessarily going in person. Going in person is completely different.
Yeah.
But 6 o'clock on a Sunday to watch it on TV, 6 o'clock Eastern, that's where we live. Imagine on the Pacific, you'd like it at 6 o'clock as well. But it's just 6 to 9. It's dinner time. It's watching the event. It's wrapping up your weekend. It's not going too long. It's not going like into the midnight hours where you're going to, it's just at a regular 9 o'clock is a fine time to go to bed for me.
Sure.
If not. So 6 to 9, I think is perfect. Back in the day, obviously like WrestleMania, they would go like 7 to 1 o'clock. That's not something I'm a fan of. Like AEW this past weekend, right? Ending after midnight on a Sunday. Not a fan of that. And that had nothing to do with the holiday. I can tell you, AEW would have ran that same event if Memorial Day wasn't the next day.
If
So
it was
they would
just
have
a
done the
regular
same.
Monday,
Yeah, they would have done the same thing. It had nothing to do with that. They would still went to 12:10 on a Sunday night. So I'm a 6 to 9 on a Sunday because it's just the perfect like time to, watch something that doesn't take up your day, right? Because like it's baseball season, what I mean? I can go to games, I can go to the park, I can go run around, do some
Plus,
errands.
it's not a bad way to unwind after a long week, anyways, and you get all your fun activities done for the weekend. Six to
Mhm.
nine's great because you just want to unwind, chill out, and then
Yeah.
show's done, go to bed, get ready for work the next day.
Yeah, 6 to 9 would be the perfect time for me for these events.
I
WWE
agree with
thinks
that.
6 o'clock's a great time, but just they do that on a Saturday, which is difficult because again, like if you're going to go out and enjoy your weekend, 6 o'clock is normally when you have the dinner reservations for, right? So 6 o'clock's a little tough on a Saturday because that's when you're going out to dinner. Sunday, not so much, right? But I mean, that's why the Super Bowl, right? It's when that is in that 6 o'clock, right, for everybody every single year. So kind of is like that perfect time. And obviously, the Super Bowl goes a little bit longer. 6 to 9, I think, is perfect. But we talk Saturday night, 10 o'clock, the pre show, if you will, for this is Triple A's. Big event this weekend, Noche de le Grandes. Don't ask me to translate that into English. But we got some big matches that is headlined specifically by El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano, mask versus mask. So I'll ask you, who's going back to the main roster? Chad Gable or Ludwig Kaiser?
I think the OG is going to get demasked, and I think it's going to be Chad Gable is going to be called up. I guess called up. I don't want to say it like that because he's been
He's
on the
kind
main.
of done with AAA for a little bit, back on Raw.
Yeah, I think so, and I think honestly, I think Kaiser really enjoys it. I think he really enjoys it. He's dating a female competitor, female. I don't know if he's a broadcaster, but I believe some connection down in Mexico, and he speaks the language. Like he can have a full on conversation with the folks down in Mexico. Chad Gable obviously is like the rest of us. Like, yeah, I know. Like, no, see, like he doesn't know the language. So I think it'd be better if you leave Kaiser there, barring any legalities that he obviously has gone through since recording last week, dealing with a situation
Mm-hmm.
where he had to come back early from a show, and I think he had to fly back, and then he had to appear because he got called in by the cops, and there's a lot of story to that that he was having a very let's just say having some fun in the elevator with his lady friend, and somebody didn't take too kindly to it. And the rumor and innuendo is, Kaiser did not like the way that gentleman was talking to him and his lady friend there, and reportedly Kaiser put his hands on the guy. So, I mean, we weren't there. We're not in the elevator. It's he said, she said, but it seems like it could be in the rear view for Kaiser, and I think this will be. And he hasn't, to my knowledge, I don't think he's had any other legal issues. So this would hopefully just be a blip on the radar. And let's be honest, if what I read and what I was hearing is true, then I kind of not that mad at Kaiser for what he did. I won't say what the specifics were because I don't know for sure if it hasn't been confirmed. But if the rumor and innuendo is correct, then I'm not going to be mad at Kaiser for that. And I think it seems like he's going to be on. Obviously, he's going to be on the card this weekend. So WWE's done their own internal investigation. They're okay with where he's at, and he's going to have a good match with the OG Americano and win the match.
There was supposed to be some sort of like celebration, I think, or some sort of pep rally thing they were doing that did get canceled. I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but the Spanish that I know is it's mascara contra mascara, which means mask for mask.
Yes.
It should be interesting. I thought we were probably going to get this at WrestleMania. They're keeping this on AAA. And I'm surprised it's not at a bigger event like Triple Mania or something like that. But either way, looking forward to. I think there's actually a lot of great matches on this card. There's only 4 matches, so probably a 2-hour event, which is perfectly digestible, easy to watch, 10 to midnight. You know what I mean? On a Saturday night, Laredo Kid versus Ray Phoenix. That should be fun. That is for the Cruiserweight Championship down in AAA. Pagano and Psycho Clown are the tag champs. They're taking on the War Raiders, the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders, whatever you want to call them. Eric and Ivar. Good to see them on our WWE televisions.
I agree.
Should enjoy seeing that match as well. And then Dr. Wagner versus Vikingo for the Latin American Championship. Obviously, Vikingo, we saw him in all those great matches
I'm
with
gonna
Dominic
quiz you.
Mysterio last year. Looks good
Probably
as well.
you've probably already seen it, but you know what Noche de los Grandes is in English, correct? Do you know what that means?
Let me take a
Night of the
Noche.
Greats. Night of the Greats.
Night of the Great. Noche means night. Grandes means great. Night of the Greats. Look at that. Noche de los Grandes. Night of the Greats. Okay. I mean,
That's a
if
good.
you would have
That's a
gave me
good
a few
name.
seconds, it's not something that it's not something that I would have like just immediately read. But if you said, "Can you guess?" I might have, it might have been one of those. I could sound it out, if you will. But I mean, I think it's free on YouTube. Should be a good show. I'm going to check it out for sure.
This is week 1 because week 2 is the next week.
And I'm curious what they're going to have for week 2. I know they already have one match where it's was it Catalina, Lola Vice, and Bailey versus some people I'm not too familiar with. Lace Toxicus.
Flommer's been around a long time. Flommer's a really talented wrestler. I shouldn't say a long time. She's not that old, but like she's well known in the lucha, down in Mexico. She's very well known there. Looking at it, I'm not familiar with Maravilla and La Hidra. I think I'm saying that right. I know a little bit of Spanish. I know I'm a little ahead of you on that because I try to speak the tongue a little bit,
When you're in Spain, of course.
And in Spain, yeah. I grew up around folks that spoke it, so I know I know sometimes if I could pick up on enough words, I can kind of get an idea what they're saying.
Mhm.
I also took some Spanish in school, so I know a little bit. Not fluent. Would love to be fluent because it's a great language, but yeah, I mean, I don't know La Hydra and Maravilla, but I do know who Flammer is.
Well, a language I'm not fluent in is Italian, and this upcoming Sunday, WWE's first PLE in Italy. 5 matches on the card. I was actually surprised. I thought we were about to get a 6 match because Adam Pearce did say that he would give Seth Rollins Braun Breaker as soon as he could. But it seems like they're not going to have it on the card, which I think might be for the best. Because to be honest with you, if they're doing these cards, this one's kind of loaded for what it
Yeah,
is. I know WWE, people aren't a big fan of the 5 match cards. In this sense, I'm
yeah,
fine with it because again, every match is important. It's gonna be a 3 hour event,
yeah.
whether that's because of commercials or not. People I think would just complain if it was 7 matches and it was not a lot of commercials. I feel like that wouldn't add to the show. I'm not an anti-commercial person. I'm an anti if the show's just not good. Um, if the show's good, then the show's good. I think these 5 matches are great. If I was thinking about the time when I was a kid and WWE PLEs and pay-per-views had like 7 or 8 matches, yeah, there was a lot of junk on there. There was a lot of like dumb intergender tag team matches for no reason at all, just to
Out
fill
of
the
the
time.
7 matches of a card potentially back in the day, you're looking at what, 3 good matches?
Yeah, you'd have like, the oddities on the card versus, the disciples or something like that. Stuff that just didn't matter, right? They just throw stuff on. WrestleMania is included. So I'm fine because literally it's 5 matches. Every match on this card is, you ask me, WrestleMania quality. Every match
Yeah,
is WrestleMania quality. The
yeah. The
first
Italian folks are definitely getting a good show.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes and Gunther and Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill are going to be within the first hour of the show. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu for Tribal Combat. Becky Lynch and Sol Ruka this time. It's for the title, unlike Saturday night's main event. Hence, they took it off. Saturday's main event for the title, so they could probably add it to here. And then Oba versus Brock Dose. What match are you looking forward to the most? And give me a surprising result.
Ooh, man, this card is loaded. I don't know if it's a real surprise, but I think Brock's going to beat Oba. I just got a feeling because if I had to book it right, we're SummerSlam this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brock's involved in SummerSlam for sure, regardless who he's facing. So yes,
I
you
think
think
it's
we're
I
getting?
think it's a trilogy. I think it's going to be a trilogy. Oba,
Ah,
Brock at SummerSlam.
so it's Cody versus Brock from 2024, or 2023. That's Oba versus Brock this time around, right? The trilogy that ended at SummerSlam in that sense, which,
Yes.
for all intensive purposes, if I'm not mistaken, was like you know one of the last times we saw Brock before this, right? Am I not mistaken? After he lost
Hmm.
in
You remember how fun that
2023 at SummerSlam to Cody, he left the ring. He wasn't at WrestleMania 24. He wasn't at WrestleMania 25. Yeah, it was that trilogy of matches before he made his return here. If I'm not mistaken, I could be a little bit wrong, but before he made his return at SummerSlam this past year.
If you want a
Um,
surprise, I think the surprise. I don't really have like. What is it? I mean, what are we seeing from Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu? I'm pretty confident Roman's going to win.
are they going to solo Fat? Are they going to solo Jacob Fatu when he loses?
I think I think Fatu is going to be almost like Roman Reigns' lapdog, like he said on that promo this week. I'm going to make you my dog, like pretty much like his dog, kind of a thing. Like, I mean, and Jacob Fatu was like, I get what I want anyways. If I don't win the title, I don't get fired because I still work for you. So I mean, I don't. I mean, if I had to pick a surprise, Sol Ruka. There you go. There's a big surprise. Sol Ruka beats Becky Lynch in her first official victory because I don't count the disqualification stuff. I don't count that. Her first pinfall. She's gonna hit. She's gonna hit her finishing maneuver there. The Soul Snatcher, and Becky Lynch is gonna drop the title. There's a big surprise for you in Italy this weekend.
37-0 in non-title PLE matches is what is Gunther's record, but this is for the championship. Cody Rhodes beats Gunther. Is that what we're seeing? Similar to what we saw at Crown Jewel?
Oh, this is a tough one. This one is probably going either way, honestly. If I gotta lean slight favorite, I'm gonna say Gunther because it's more in his territory than Cody Rhodes because obviously Gunther's a European competitor. I think that's gonna be his home turf compared to Cody Rhodes. So I think it's gonna be more of a home game for him. And just imagine the pop he will get if he beats Cody Rhodes in Europe.
The last time Gunther lost a match that wasn't for a championship, I don't necessarily know if you can count Crown Jewel as being for a championship, on a PLE was to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel in 2024. But since then, obviously, he beat AJ Styles, he beat Seth Rollins, he beat Pat McAfee last year at Backlash. He beat Damian Priest. That was for the championship. He's beaten Randy Orton, Damian Priest, and Randy Orton again in 3 PLEs in a row. So when it comes to no title on the line, he's pretty good. And then, at his first ever clash, he was at Clash in the Castle in 2022. He took on Sheamus for the IC title and won in what was probably one of the better matches of that entire 20 of all of 2022, if you ask me. Gunther, I am expecting him to put on a good match. What do you think the match of the night is? I mean, Oba and Brock, it's probably going to be quick. I'm guessing it's going to be something that maybe Brock maybe beats Oba really quickly, to set up that trilogy. You know what I mean? Kind of catches Oba off guard a little bit.
I think the easy answer here, the best match of the night, I think it's going to be Cody and Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with you there. Are we seeing any title changes in the title matches? You just said Sol Ruka, right? She's going to be the new IC
so I
title.
mean that if we're betting on a big surprise, like putting a small bet, we'll just say hypothetically speaking, Sol's kind of like that lottery ticket, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to say one title is definitely has the best shot, I think Gunther winning the title. I think that out of all the title matches on this card, I think Gunther taking the title from Cody has the biggest likelihood to happen.
What about Gunther winning the championship? And then I know we've kind of alluded to this already, and I know Oba and Brock, it seems inevitable, right? But what if they get done with their trilogy before SummerSlam and it's Gunther for the championship versus career of Brock Lesnar? Would that be a good enough main event for your SummerSlam? I think so.
Yeah, I think it definitely would. I just don't know what Brock wants to do. We just don't know. I mean, a lot of people are saying when he did the whole boots in the ring and the gloves and all that stuff, that was him negotiating in public because he didn't like the way things were going with his current contract or how he was being portrayed or what his matches were going to look like. Brock Lesnar could do whatever the hell he wants. He doesn't really care. He has enough money. He's made enough money. He could go do whatever he can do whatever he wants. I think that's kind of not really a surprise. So I think it's on Brock's terms.
I do agree.
Gunther, maybe. But
I do agree with Bubba Ray Dudley this week when he was talking about Oba Femi and his promo with Paul Heyman at the start of Monday Night Raw. Where he kind of did lose it for a second when he said that I'm not just trying to beat Brock Lesnar, I'm trying to kill Brock Lesnar. And Bubba Ray Dudley essentially says that, that kind of terminology in wrestling because no one's getting killed, right? That's just not happening. So that kind of terminology kind of takes you out of that promo a little bit. It seems a little too silly, right? To say those kind of things that are just not happening. It's kind of like, the fact that, WWF, like during the Attitude Era, right? Once or twice they introduced guns and things like that. And it takes you out of it because you know that obviously those are not going to play a factor in anything. You know what I mean? It's like wasting your time saying you're going to shoot somebody when, you're not.
Well, yeah, it's like the Stone Cold to Vince McMahon where it's bang 316. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because we know we're not seeing that, right?
You got kids there, it's a live television thing. We're not doing stuff like that.
So Absolutely. It kind of didn't need to be said, maybe ruined it just a little bit. The promo. I mean, do you see this being a clean finish or a dusty finish? Because I think I could see also going the other way. I don't know how, but my guess is it's going to be a clean finish, but it's going to be a Brock doing what Brock versus Goldberg happened, because that was a trilogy over years, as you remember, where
Yeah.
Goldberg speared Brock, beat him in like 10 seconds, and Brock was stunned. Like I see Brock winning this in like 20 seconds to set up that trilogy where Oba's not ready.
I think it'll be a little slightly longer than that. I would say long enough to hit Oba with 5 F5s.
So do you see this being a clean finish, though? No Paul
I
Heyman getting
do.
involved.
I do think it's gonna be clean. I think Brock's gonna just maul him, hit him with like I'll say 5 F5s, because I think he hit him with 4 this past week. So I think he's gonna hit him with 5 in this matchup this weekend, and then wins the match. Trilogies at SummerSlam.
Final question. Every time they've been going overseas, right? We had Clash at the Castle, then Clash at the Castle 2, then Clash in Paris, and now this is the fourth in this. Should we be calling all these things? Like, it seems just like a lazy name. What do you make of Clash in Italy, Clash in Paris? Do you think these names are a little bit silly, or should it just be like the traditional pay-per-view names just happen to be where they are?
No, I like the Clash. I like these Clash titles. Clash in Italy, Clash in Paris, Clash. Wherever the next European city is. I think it would be a good touch to leave the clashes in whatever European country you're in and make it like the European special PLE. I think it's cool.
All right.